Hi, my name is Stephanie Stevens, and I'm a planner with the City of Wheat Ridge Community Development Department. I'm presenting case number WZ-20-06, which is a request for approval of a zone change from restricted commercial to a planned residential development with an outline development plan located at 7585 West 32nd Avenue. The property is outlined in red on the screen. The property is located on the north side of West 32nd Avenue, one lot east of Wadsworth Boulevard. West 32nd Avenue is a minor arterial that runs east-west through the city, while Wadsworth Boulevard is a major arterial that runs north-south. The property is approximately 31,736 square feet, about 3/4 of an acre, and the property is currently vacant aside from a parking lot that was originally permitted in 2005 and is intended to be used for the neighboring property at 3280 Wadsworth Boulevard. The parking lot is currently unused and no longer has any association with the property to the west. The property is zoned restricted commercial and has been zoned this way since the city's incorporation. Properties to the north, east, and south contain low-density residential uses and are zoned Residential 1, Residential 2, and Residential 1A. Properties to the west are zoned Planned Commercial Development, Restricted Commercial, Neighborhood Commercial, and Residential 3, and contain retail, office, and multifamily uses. Crown Hill Park is located further to the southwest. The applicant is proposing to develop the site with 14 dwelling units, including 2 duplexes and 2 5-plex single-family attached townhomes. The request tonight is for a rezone from restricted commercial to planned residential development. The outline development plan accompanies the zone change request by establishing the zoning and development standards. The code allows for processing of ODPs and SDPs concurrently or sequentially, and the applicant has chosen the sequential 2-step option. I'll go through the ODP document, then talk about the criteria for review and staff findings. The outline development plan establishes the PRD zoning. The ODP is 2 sheets in this case, which are attached to the staff report. The first page is a cover sheet with certification and signature blocks for property owners, planning commission, city council, and the mayor. There's also a character of development statement, list of permitted uses, development standards, and other standard notes. The second page includes the conceptual layout of the property as shown on the screen here, including access, open space, and development areas. This table summarizes the development standards that are proposed on sheet 2 of the ODP. The applicant has proposed single-family attached dwelling as primary uses, but detached would also be allowed. Accessory buildings would not be permitted. The site is proposed at a density of 20 dwelling units per acre, higher than what would be allowed in R3 at 12 dwelling units per acre for comparison, but less than the maximum for planned developments. The height is proposed to be 35 feet. Architecture follows typical standards set forth in the Architectural and Site Design Manual and defers to current mixed-use codes as applicable to townhome design, including facade design and articulation and materials. In comparison, R3 does not have architectural standards. The proposed setbacks prioritize buffering the rear 5-plex units from existing residential properties to the east and commercial to the west. Bulk plane would also apply. Minimum landscaping is proposed at 30% of the total site, and maximum building coverage is proposed at 40%, which both match R3 standards. An additional requirement of the PRD requires that 25% of the minimum landscape area be dedicated as private open space. Parking is proposed at 2 standard spaces per unit, plus 3 visitor spaces minimum. In all other areas, the project is proposed to comply with the zoning code, including lighting, fencing, signage, and streetscape design. This is the sketch plan from page 2 of the ODP with annotations. The setbacks are shown in red, and building envelopes are shown in blue. The conceptual plan shows 2 duplexes fronting 32nd Avenue, 2 5-plex townhome buildings tucked behind the duplexes and oriented perpendicular to 32nd Avenue. On this screen, the access drive is shown here in pink and parking spaces are shown in purple. Open space areas are shown in green. One central access point is proposed along 32nd Avenue and continues north to serve all units, with a hammerhead turnaround located behind the two duplexes that front along 32nd Avenue. Garages face internal to the private drive, which bisects the site. 2 parking spaces per unit are provided in tuck-under garages, in addition to 3 visitor parking spaces and bike parking located on site. A sidewalk is included around the perimeter of the site for pedestrian access. The site is also bordered with a landscape buffer and private front yards with increased setbacks for the northern 5 plexes to provide separation from adjacent uses, with shared open space proposed along the perimeter and rear of the property. We use several criteria to evaluate zone change requests, which includes consistency with the comprehensive plan. A full analysis of criteria for consideration for the zone change are provided in the staff report. This image is an excerpt from the comprehensive plan, which provides guidance in terms of land use. The site is categorized along the Wadsworth primary commercial corridor within the neighborhood buffer area and neighborhood designations. Per the comprehensive plan, the Wadsworth primary commercial corridor is appropriate for higher intensities and mix of uses, including multifamily uses, and calls for transition in height from the corridor to residential areas. This property is also in the neighborhood buffer, which is intended to function as a buffer between low-intensity residential areas and higher commercial corridors and uses. The proposed zone change is consistent with the neighborhood designation, and the project supports the city's stated goals of increasing options for home ownership and attracting a range of household types. It will also act as a transition from higher intensity Wadsworth corridor. This application is in compliance with the comprehensive plan by its proposed investment in a vacant site, by providing housing options, and by its compatibility with the adjacent neighbors. As a requirement of the zone change process, a neighborhood meeting was held on April 28, 2020 on Zoom. 16 people attended the meeting, and the notes from the meeting are included in the staff report. The proposal presented in April 2020 differed from the enclosed ODP, so the applicant held another informal meeting in February of 2022 per staff's recommendation. One community member expressed mild opposition. Since Wheat Ridge is not a full-service city, we sent the application on referral to outside agencies as well as completed an internal review. We did not receive concerns or objections from outside agencies. Before the hearing, the property was posted for 15 days and letters were sent to property owners and residences within a 600-foot radius. Comments collected on Wheat Ridge Speaks will be reviewed by the Planning Commission and entered into the public record. Staff believes the zone change request meets the criteria. It allows for compatible and transitional land use, it complies with the comprehensive plan, and it provides opportunity for reinvestment in homeownership. It will add a different variety of housing options. Ultimately, staff is recommending approval of the request. Planning Commission will recommend a decision to City Council, who will also review the ODP. If City Council approves the ODP, the zone change is approved and the applicant can move forward with the specific development plan and plat. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.